members with
Manish
us,
is here.
so we'll be going live.
He just come?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Please.
Welcome, Manish. Rajiv is already there.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, dear shareholders, and welcome to the 82nd Annual General Meeting of Bajaj Electricals. I, Shekhar Bajaj, the Chairman and Managing Director of the company, am attending the meeting from our Sion office, Mumbai, the corporate office of your company. At the outset, I would, on behalf of the board, like to express our heartfelt condolences to those who have lost their loved ones to this dreadful pandemic. With the requisite forum being present, I call the meeting to order. In view of the continuing pandemic situation in the country, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Security and Exchange Board of India, via their circular, have permitted the holding of the annual general meeting AGM through video conferencing or other audio-visual means without the physical presence of members at a common venue. Accordingly, the company is conducting its AGM through video conferencing for the second consecutive year. The company has taken all possible and feasible effort to ensure that the shareholders are provided an opportunity to participate in this AGM. Members participating through the mobile devices, tablets, laptops, etc. may at times experience audio, video loss due to fluctuation in their respective network. Use of a stable Wi-Fi or LAN connection can mitigate some of the technical glitches. Members who need any technical assistance during the meeting may reach out to Link in Time India Private Limited, the registrar and share transfer agent of the company, at the mail ID or at the helpline number provided in the AGM notice. Before I commence with my formal address, I would like to introduce all my colleagues on the board of the company. Anuj Poddar. Other directors who joined this meeting remotely, Shri Shailesh Hari Bhakti, Shri Harshvardhan Goenka, Srimati Indu Shahani, Dr. Indu Shahani, Chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, Mr. Madhur Bajaj, Shri Rajiv Bajaj, Srimati Pooja Bajaj, Chairperson of the Stakeholders Relationship Committee, Dr. Rajendra Prasad Singh, and Shri Munish Khetrapal. Along with them, E.C. Prasad, our CFO, and Shri Ajay Nagle, our company secretary, are also present at the meeting. Shri Vikram Mehta, partner, SRBC and Company LLP, statutory auditors. Shri Anant Khamankar from Anant B. Khamankar and Company, secretarial auditors. And SG Narsimhan from R. Nanaboy and Company, cost auditors, are also in attendance. Pursuant to the circular issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the following documents are available for inspection at this AGM. Director Report for the financial year 2021, Standalone and Consolidated Financial Statement and Auditor's Report thereon for the financial year 2021, Secretarial Audit Report, Certificate from the Statutory Auditor stating that the ESOP scheme of the company have been implemented in accordance with the Security and Exchange Board of India share-based employee benefits regulation. Register of directors and key managerial personnel and their shareholding under Section 170 of the Companies Act 2013 and register of contracts under Section 189 of the Companies Act 2013. The auditor report on the financial statement and secretarial audit report for the financial year ending 31st March 2021 do not contain any adverse remark, qualification, or disclaimer. Accordingly, the said report is not being read out. Since the meeting is conducted through video conferencing, the option to appoint a proxy is not available for this AGM. The company has received authorization under Section 113 of the Companies Act 2013 from the shareholders holding the aggregate of 23,450,171 shares representing 20.46% of the paid up share capital of the company. Now I will commence my formal address. Dear shareholders, it has been my privilege to assume the role of the chairman for over 37 years. I am deeply aware that your company's position today is an outcome of the invaluable support and understanding that we have received from our stakeholders over the years. We meet today at a time when the onslaught of COVID-19 across the world is waning, but as far as is far from over, and the effect of second pandemic wave continues to impact the movement of people and consequently the overall economic activity. Fiscal 2021 was a significant year for your company in multiple ways. As I had shared with you last year, that year marked the beginning of a multi-year transformational journey to build a new Bajaj Electricals. We are in the process of streamlining our corporate structure and interest across various entities. For the year ending 31st March 2021, your company achieved income from operation of 4,585 crore against 4,987 crores, a decrease of 8.07% over the corresponding period of the previous year. For the year, the company has made profit before tax and profit after tax of 246 crore and 189 crores respectively, against a profit before tax of 7 crores and a loss after tax of 10 crores in the corresponding period of the previous year. For the year, the company generated positive cash flow from operation of 658 crores as against 626 crores in the previous year. With reduced debt, the debt to equity ratio has improved from 0.7% to 0.3 as on 31st March 2021. We've been pursuing our stated path of a strong focus on positive cash flows from operations, reducing our debt and strengthening our balance sheet. I'm glad to note that we have done well on all these parameters and remain committed to it. We will continue to drive growth in our consumer product segment while adopting a more risk-calibrated approach for the EPC segment, with a focus on completion of existing projects on hand. Despite the impact of COVID-19, our consumer product segment has maintained its revenue and delivered an EBIT growth of 59.55% in the current year, while the EPC segment revenue has registered a planned degrowth due to selective bidding of fresh contact. In the near term, this may impact profitability, but we remain confident about the healthy bounce back as our strategic shift plays out. The merger of Starlight Industries Limited into the company, the core foundation of the new Bajaj Electricals, lies in the organization transformation that we have embarked upon. This comprises strengthening of our people, processes and system, as well as our overall organization culture to drive superior performance in a more institutionalized basis. The Board of Directors of the company at its meeting held on May 25th, 2021 has approved the scheme of merger by absorption of Starlight Lighting Limited with the company under Section 230 to 232 and other applicable provision of the Companies Act 2013. The scheme is subject to the necessary statutory and regulatory approval, including the approval of the Honorary NCLT, the shareholders and creditors of each of the companies. The merger will enable consolidation of business into the company for strategic and commercial consideration, facilitate more efficient utilization of capital, greater business synergies, and create a consolidated and diversified base for future growth. Q1 performance. I take this opportunity to take you through the Q1 performance approved by the board today. We have achieved income from operation of 857 crore against 600 crores in the previous year, an increase of 40.9% over the first quarter of the previous year. For the quarter, the company had made a loss before tax and loss after tax of 31 crores and 25 crores respectively, against a loss before tax and loss after tax of 32 crores and 17 crores in the corresponding first quarter of the previous year. That means we are around the same level of losses as was there last year. The impact of rise of commodity prices led to sluggishness in the company's business during the first quarter of the current financial year. The order book as on July 1st, 2021 stands at 888 crores, comprising of 498 crores for transmission line towers, 69 crores for power distribution, and 321 crore for illumination projects. Corporate social responsibility. Your company's social investment program as part of the Environment and Sustainability Initiative partnered with various non-governmental organizations focused largely on ensuring environment sustainability, promotion of art and culture, promotion of education, promotion of preventive healthcare, disaster relief. Before I conclude, I thank all our customers, business partners, vendors, and other business associates for their continued cooperation and support. I also take this opportunity to record my appreciation to the dedicated and committed effort put in by Anuj and Team Bajaj for taking the organization to greater heights and achievement and glory. I would like to thank the members of the Corporate Management Committee for their contribution and unwavering support over the years. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the members of the board for their wisdom and guidance. And finally, a special word of thanks to you, our valued shareholders, for your unstinted support and encouragement. Your confidence has been a considerable source of strength for Team Bajaj. I'm sure Team Bajaj can continue to look at your goodwill and support for years to come. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your strong support and faith in us, and that inspires us to achieve newer milestones of success. Now, in terms of provision of the Companies Act 2013 and the rules framed hereunder and the Security and Exchange Board of India Listing Obligation and Disclosure Requirement Regulation 2015, members holding shares either in physical form or dematerialized form as on the cut-off date of August 4, 2021 were entitled to exercise their votes on the resolution contained in the AGM notice. The remote e-voting period commenced on 8th of August 2021 from 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time and ended on 10th of August 2021 at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Shareholders holding shares on the cutoff date were provided an option to either cast their votes remotely during this period by logging into the e-voting platform of Link in Time India Private Limited or vote at the AGM. Shareholders who have joined this AGM and have not cast their vote so far can vote in this meeting. Before putting the resolution to vote, I would like to brief you on the resolutions. Resolution number 1, ordinary resolution, adoption of the standalone and consolidated financial statement for the financial year ending 31st March 2021, together with the directors and auditors report thereon. Resolution number 2, ordinary, reappointment of Shri Madhur Bajaj, director who retires by rotation. Resolution number 3, ordinary, reappointment of Shri Rajiv Bajaj, director who retires by rotation. Resolution number 4, special resolution, revision in the remuneration of Shri Anuj Podar, executive director of the company. Resolution number 5, special amendment in the Bajaj Electricals Limited Employee Stock Option Plan 2015. Resolution number 6, special borrowing by way of issue of securities. Resolution number 7, ordinary, ratification of the remuneration of cost auditors for the financial year ending 31st March 2022. Now I would like to invite queries and comments from the shareholders who have already registered themselves as speaker shareholders. Only those shareholders who have already registered will be allowed to seek clarification. To ensure participation from maximum shareholders, I would request the speakers to be brief, precise, and avoid repeating the questions. Speakers have accordingly been allotted 2 minutes each to offer their comments and seek clarification. Queries, questions received over the mail or through company's RTA will be taken up subject to availability of time. I now request the moderator to call the speakers sequentially. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our first speaker is Srimati Lekha Shah.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one, Rajiv.
Tell him to unmute.
The next speaker is Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta.
बोल जल्दी.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Lekha madam, you can ask your question.
Thank you, sir. Respected chairman, sir, board of directors, and my fellow members. Good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Lekha Shah from Mumbai. First of all, I'm very much thankful to our company secretarial team for sending very good individual services and also sending me the AGM notice by email well in time in such a difficult situation. So I am very grateful to our company secretarial department. Sir, I would like to thank to all the person of company for receiving awards and recognition by our various plans during the year 2021. And also I am glad the company is doing very well in the field of CSR activities. Since registered link time send us direct link to the meeting on time. We do not face any challenge to join the meeting. Thank you, LinkedIn team, especially Prashant Bhai and Premila madam. Sir, I'm happy to see all the good deeds you have done during this tough time. I pray to God that He always shower His blessing upon you. Sir, I would like to ask only few questions. My first question is, how is our company operating? Our employees are working from home or are they working from the office? My second question is, are all our vaccinated employees against COVID-19? My third question is, how many of our employees were affected by COVID-19? My fourth question is, what are the learning from the lockdown and how is the company implementing those learning? My fifth question is, how is the company preparing itself in a post-COVID world? So, I would like to say, I strongly support all the resolutions for today's meeting and my best wishes, always our company and its prosperity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lekha.
Our next speaker for the event is Sri Manoj Kumar Gupta. Mr. Gupta,
Hello.
you can enable your video
Hello.
and ask question.
Good morning. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Hello?
we can. We can hear you.
Yeah, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Gupta. I'm equity shareholder of Bajaj Electricals Limited. I've joined this meeting from Calcutta. Sir, I'm very respected Chairman and MD, CMD. I'm very happy to hear your speech, your opening remark about the company's performance. And I'm very happy to see our beloved director, Mr. H.V. Goenka, today in our AGM. And I'm a great admire his family because I know him from Calcutta. He can forget us, but we can't forget him. And sir, I have some few questions. I thanks to the company secretary and his team to inspire us to join this meeting through VC. And sir, have you any plan to split the share from rupees 2 to 1 to increase the liquidity and attract the small shareholder that they can buy your shares at a price? And sir, how you will face a competition of household products from Philips, Orion, Crampton, and other companies? And sir, what's your future outlook on kitchen appliances products for next 2 to 3 years? There is a big challenge and big competition of this business. And sir, have you any plan to offer maximum discount coupon to investors to buy your products from your shop, sir? Please give some discount coupon, 25%, 30% to small shareholders that they can buy. And sir, bonus is overdue. Have you any plan to issue the bonus? And have you any plan to growth? So how you will growth and what's your plan for capex for next 2 to 3 years? And sir, huge return has given by the Bajaj Electricals to investors in last 10 years after split bonus. So just try to consider again reward to the investors. And have you any plan to call investor and the customer meet like 2 years back you were doing in Citywide? So have you any plan to start that type of meeting again? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Sri Arun Kumar Bopanna. Mr. Bopanna, you can ask your question.
Where's the video?
You kindly enable your video.
Hello?
Yeah, you can ask your question, sir.
Can you see? I'm not able to see. One sec. Man, it's not clear. Hello? Hello?
Sir, your video is not coming clearly. Still, you can ask your questions. Once the internet connectivity improves, you will be.
Let him continue his audio. Why don't he continue
second,
audio?
one
We can hear him. We can hear him.
We can move to the next speaker. Mr. Yusuf Rangwala. Mr. Yusuf, kindly enable your video and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Yes, we
Very
can hear
loud.
you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. And
Good
sir, I'm
afternoon
very
to
happy
you.
to see sir, आप बजाज शेखर सर, आपका सर प्रेजेंटेशन इतना अच्छा था, उस बारे में मैं कुछ टच नहीं करूंगा. मैं आपका फुल सपोर्ट चाहता हूँ और सर मैं आपको हमेशा आपको देखता हूँ आप हमेशा स्माइल करते रहते हैं और आज आपके बोर्ड पे इतने अच्छे अनमोल रतन है। एक तो अपने हर्षवर्धन साहब है जो अपने बोर्ड पे है और अपने अपने शैलेश सर है अपने बोर्ड पे। सर 4 मेरे जो अनमोल रतन है जो पिक्चर आया था उसका मैं गाना गाना चाहता हूँ। अपने बोर्ड पे 4 अनमोल रतन है सर। इतने अच्छे रतन होने के बाद मुझे पूछना सर कुछ ही नहीं सर। आप इतना अच्छे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, आप इतना अच्छा चलाते हैं। अपना फैन डिवीजन में आपने कौन सा नया प्रोडक्ट बनाया है? फैन डिवीजन और अपना इलेक्ट्रिकल में सर और फैन डिवीजन में आपने नया प्रोडक्ट क्या लॉन्च किया है उस बारे में सर मुझे बताइए। और सर मैं जानना चाहता हूँ आपका आपकी सर आपको देख के सर मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई। आपकी तबीयत अच्छी रहे और आपने सर आप हमें ऐसे ही अच्छा डिविडेंड देते रहे। और आज आपका रेट सर 1200 रेट है आपका रेट। आपने हमको 300 रुपये में राइट दिया था। ऐसा सर वापस ऐसा राइट निकालिए 300 रुपये में आपके बारे में तो हमको एक मिनी बोनस सर हो जाए। मैं बोनस से नहीं पूछूंगा, ऐसा आप राइट निकाल सकते हैं तो हम तो सर बल्ले बल्ले करेंगे सर आपके साथ में। थैंक यू वेरी मच। और आपको और कुछ नहीं पूछना है सर, आप इतने अच्छे व्यवस्थित है सर। अभी नेक्स्ट ईयर वो तो अपन गेट टुगेदर मिलेंगे फिजिकल। सर आपका फिजिकल आपको मिलने का सर बहुत ये हो रहा है, अरसा हो गया सर। आपको 2 साल हो गए आपसे फेस टू फेस नहीं मिले सर। बस आपसे मैं खुदा के बाद आपके लिए से सही सलामत आपके बाद तबियत के लिए दुआ करता हूँ। बस सर आप और मुझे कुछ नहीं पूछना, आपको जल्दी मीटिंग खत्म करना है। मेरा फुल सपोर्ट है। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। एंड सर लिंक पीपल को भी मैं बहुत सपोर्ट देता हूँ जो उनकी सर्विस अच्छी है। प्रेमिला मैडम को उनकी सर सर्विस बहुत अच्छी है। प्रेमिला मैडम को मैं थैंक्स बोलता हूँ। थैंक यू सर। मे गॉड ब्लेस एंड जय हिंद सर।
जय हिंद।
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Prakashni Shenoy.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes,
we can hear you.
yes, we can.
Yeah, I'm Prakashini Shanoy from Bombay. Respected Honorable Chairman Sri Shekhar Bajaj ji, other dignitaries on the board, and my fellow shareholders, good afternoon to all of you. I received the soft copy of the AGM report through email, which is informative, colorful, transparent, contains all the information as per the corporate governance. I thank the company secretary and his team for the same. I should not forget to thank the link in time, Mr. Prashant and Pramila, without which they have given me the link. Without them, I won't have been in a position to speak in this meeting. The chairman has given a wonderful explanation in his opening speech regarding the working of the company. So I'm happy to see the balance sheet, which is healthy in spite of COVID-19 when compared to last 2 years. I'm also thankful to the company for getting several awards for the financial year 2021. This shows the hard work and sincerity of all the staff. Sir, I have few questions. What is the effect of COVID-19 on a company and what are its challenges? What is the roadmap for next 2 years? Do we come under the purview of GST? If yes, what is the percentage? When was the bonus paid last? So we are living in a days where everything is unpredictable lives, including our existence. In such a circumstances, running a company like Bajaj is not a small thing. I appreciate Chairman, sir. Sir, I have few. I wish the company good luck for a bright future and pray God that the profit of the company shall reach the peak in due course. Sir, I support all the resolutions put forth in today's meeting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker is Sri Sarad Kumar Shah.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
We can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you, sir.
You can hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Sir, I'm very happy when you say that you want to streamline the company, and which is absolutely necessary. And I'm a shareholder of your company and Hercules, and not in Bajaj Group, other company, and it is not possible for me to join to take share of all other companies. So I'm very happy to see Madhur, Rajiv, and Pooja in the. And first I thought, say this is a family board, but when I see Hari Bhakti and Goenka, then I thought it is not only family; it is all people are gathered together. and Hari Bhakti is a chairman of Blue Star. So that is also a good point, sir. What is my observation, sir, is that you said in the balance sheet, the fan business is 26.5% is there, that is revenue from fan business. And it means our revenue from fan is 1,150 crores. And the total market of fan business is 7,100 crores. So it looks like that our share is in fan business is only 15%, sir. And the fan business is really, which gives you real good money. And in addition to that, people in consumer business, along with the fan, the pump business is there, and we are not in pump business. So please look into, when you are streamlining, look into this pump business. Also, when you say Bajaj electrical, say then we must have a backward integration, because all equipments run on electrical motors. So why not to go for manufacturing of electrical motors required for our appliances, and particularly this BLDC, which technology is recently introduced. Look into that, and why not to have this technology with us, and so that our cost will be very, very effective in fan business. Sir, my other observation is this year finance cost is lowered by 94 crores, and our total expenses are also lower. Exceptional items also helped us to have 189 crores PAT, and so that, and our earning per share is rupees 1608, is mainly because it's not because only PAT, but because we have our lower share capital, and to other companies whose PAT is more than 3 times of us, but EPS is slightly half of our EPS, and this is basically shareholding, number of shareholders. And sir, here I want to say it's a good, because I attended recent 3-4 meetings, like consumers meetings, and what my observation is, our revenue, their revenue is more or less, even Blue Star revenue is same, but our share price is the highest, and others like Blue Star is second, third is Crompton Consumer. But if you just the worst is Blue Star profit is lower, but Crompton Consumer PAT is around 605 crores, but their earning per share is low, so their share price is low. And it is very difficult for a shareholder to decide which company they should invest, because on the performance or the earning per share, there are so many things happens. And so last point I wanted to talk to you is, sir, what I said at this point, but I'm really happy with you, because once I refer page number 90, our share price was just 260 in the beginning of the FY 2021, and today's price is 1031. And what shareholder looks like, finally once he looks for EPS, then dividend, but finally he looks for a market price, and which is really happy, makes him happy. Another thing, what my observation is, sir, our promoter holding is 63%, and when price was 260, I thought it was a good opportunity to promoters to increase their stake. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. And yesterday's meeting I could not attend because there may be some problem, I don't know. So this was, at least I could attend today's meeting, and I got only one small question to Harsha Goenka. That is very simple question, sir, because he is a promoter of Harrison Group, Harrison Company. So when Harrison Company's AGM is there, that I would like to know. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Sri Hiranand Kotwani.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please ask your question.
Namaste to all. It was very good to see you at this meeting. Sir, one question is how the future of our organization, how pain in this pandemic, and how we come across and growth and prosperity of our organization, and particularly your vision and mission for the new product, new innovations, new technology, expansion and growth and prosperity, how you are going to reward the minority shareholder right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Sri Bimal Kumar Agarwal. Mr. Bimal, ask your question, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, I thank the company secretary and his team, and also Link in Time, Mr. Prashant and Pramila also, for sending me the link. And now I start with the question. Please provide me the detail of capex plan the company would be incurring over the next 3 years. What is the impact of pandemic on the medium term prospect? Also, please comment on the China factor as well. And what is the take on a electric vehicle now? All vehicles are coming electrical. Please tell me. Thank you very much. That's all with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The last speaker for the event is Sri Arun Kumar Bopanna. Mr. Bopanna, kindly unmute yourself and speak.
Welcome. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Please ask your question.
I already spoke. There was a confusion. There's a glitch in this. I just want to know what are the, say, white goods. There's a lot of problem with deep discounts in Amazon and all. So how are you going to face the price wars? The second question is, are we doing anything on home automation because we are building futuristic houses? Just two questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bopanna.
Thank you, sir.
So is that the last question, moderator? Can I answer the questions now?
Yes, thank you, the shareholder. Now I'll ask Anuj Podar to answer the questions.
Sir, we are going to take a short break to prepare the responses of the questions. Kindly
I'm ready. I can respond now if you like.
Yeah, we are ready with the response, so we don't need any time. So please, Anuj, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead. Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation. Mr. Lekha Shah, Mr. Manoj Gupta, Mr. Arun Bopanna, Mr. Yusuf Ranwala, Ms. Prakashni Shenoy, Mr. Sharad Kumar, Mr. Hiranand Kotwani, and Mr. Bimal Agarwal. I'll just combine my responses to, since some of the questions are common. If I missed out anything, let me know. Okay. I'll just go in sequence of what I have noted down in my notes. Is my voice clear? Yeah. Is my voice clear?
Yes, please.
Yes. How are we operating currently in terms of, work from home versus work from office? In the first wave, we were working from home. Earlier this year, we had returned to offices in varying strengths, but with the second wave, we've all gone back to work from home. As we stand now, for September, we plan to resume working from office, but in a staggered manner with certain, partial strength of returning to office. We will continue to, review the situation and then intend to increase that as things normalize, including the normalization of public transport, etc. On vaccination rate, we've launched a company-sponsored vaccination drive for all our employees, as well as various associates, which includes our customer care officers, field sales officers, etc. And this across our offices and our factories, and includes our off-roll employees in our factories as well.
Also family members.
And yes, and a dependent or family member of our employees is also eligible and being covered by us. Our current vaccination rate for our employees, where we have full data, is between 80 to 85%. By 1st October, most of them, which is about 85%, should have a double dose done. For our associates or other parties, we don't have full data always. So, But based on what we know, at least 50 to 60% are vaccinated through our program. My guess is another 20 odd percent may be self-vaccinated. So I would guess or estimate that that could also be close to about 80% vaccination rates. We continue to encourage all our people and those associated with us to get fully vaccinated. In terms of learnings from lockdown or from COVID and the pandemic, and this was a common question a couple of you had, there are various learnings that we've all had, whether as businesses, as organizations, and as individuals and teams. From a very purely business standpoint, it was the what should I say, volatility on both the supply and demand front that we've seen over the last 5 to 6 quarters post a pandemic. And we've learned to be more agile as an organization to deal with this volatility on both fronts. Last year, once the lockdown was lifted in post July, August, the demand came back very strongly, but supplies continued to remain a challenge until about October and November, till the supply chain started normalizing in terms of manufacturing, production capacities, etc. And inventories had been low. One of the learnings from that had been to not always operate on minimal inventories or working capital. And to that extent, this year, you'll see that in our March annual reports. And even now, we've started operating at slightly higher inventory levels because the risk of loss of sale is greater than the risk of slightly higher working capital in inventory. That's been helping us in the past few months. That said, we have a different problem now. We have a problem in terms of commodity cost pressures and commodity cycles changing. We are again learning to deal with that. There are various measures that the company and procurement officers have been putting in place. I think the single word I would underline to all of this stuff is the agility and response rate as an organization that we built in and our teams have learned to deal with, given that the external markets and conditions will continue to remain dynamic, maybe in future with different challenges. A couple of you asked questions on splitting the shares or bonuses, etc. One of you asked when was the last bonus? Our last bonus was in September 2007 at a 1:1 ratio. As of present, we do not have any immediate plans to undergo for a share split or a share bonus. At the right time, if the board in its wisdom feels so, I will leave it to their decision to consider that. I think today we are fairly attractively priced. By attractively priced, I also mean in terms of affordably priced. Our overall investor base in terms of number of participants, we've seen a fair amount of churn and increase in enhancement in that, including retail participation in the last 12 to 18 months. So we think so far, we are seeing healthy participation. If we feel that the ratio or quantum of retail participation is unduly low and we need to trigger that, that may be one condition for the board to consider on this decision point. Some questions on competition and dealing with the future roadmap, etc. We are very conscious that we are in a business and category that is exceedingly competitive, faces very high competitive intensity, also because the entry barriers in our industry are very low, lower than many other industries. My belief in this is the only way to survive and compete is to keep running and run faster and be agile and move forward. Okay, I think so. Speed is of great essence, and that is what we're trying to hardwire into our organization and processes and systems and work culture. That said, the two other functional strengths that we're focusing on is product portfolio, which is linked to R&D. We are enhancing our investments in R&D. This quarter, we started doing that. Our current quarter results also factors in certain enhancement in R&D investments, and we'll continue to do that over the coming quarters. The second functional area that we are strengthening is brand. We believe that we have a great legacy brand, but that was in need of revitalization and further investment in the brand. That has also gone into our the way we've run our business for the past few quarters, and particularly in this quarter. Despite it being a COVID impacted quarter and a weak external environment, we've taken the strategic call to not cut our brand investments and maintain that. In the short term, that may affect our bottom lines, but in the long run, we believe that's the right strategic thing to do. So brand and R&D will remain two pillars of our investment. And to your question on areas or aspects or avenues for us to deal with competitive pressures with various people continue to enter our business. So Ranwala, I think you did not have questions, but you appreciated various facets, including the return on our shares the last 12 months. And thank you for your various words of appreciation and wishes that you shared with us. Moving down, there was a question on GST. Yes, we're very much covered by GST. Our rates of GST vary from 5% to 28% across different product categories. So that's pretty much all the buckets of GST, except the 0 or 1% or whatever is that lowest bucket that operates. So our products straddle all the buckets of the GST regime. Mr. Sharad Kumar, you had a question, fans being 26% of our total business. That is correct, but the numbers you used on the total turnover of the company, it is actually 26% of our consumer products business, leaving aside the EPC business. And therefore the math on that would apply to the consumer products business. You pointed out that it's an area or a strong category to be present in and grow, and it's an area of opportunity. I fully agree with your views on that. We have been, relative to some other categories such as appliances, we have been weaker in fans, but that remains an area of focus for us for the next 2-3 years to enhance our market share and rank in the fans category. A couple of other product categories that you mentioned, pumps business, quite frankly, I do not think it's in our focus in the short or the medium term. We think we have enough and more to do and enough and more room to grow in the categories that we're already present in. So we'd rather focus on that for the short to medium term. And secondly, as of now, there are established players in the pumps business, and unless we have a reason to win or compete and win against them, we think we'd rather focus on areas where we are relatively stronger. The other area you spoke about is electrical motors in the context of BLDC. There I concur with you. While we do not intend to get into the business of motors, BLDC motors or motors itself will be a core component of our products. And BLDC as a technology is finding increasing acceptance across various product categories, starting with fans. We are launching our BLDC fans in the coming months, and we will continue to expand our range of BLDC offerings across the different product categories as the markets in these product categories continue to evolve and mature. So that very much will remain a focus for us, but more as an enabler or feature of our product portfolios that we already have. One of you raised a question on the earnings per share and the absolute EPS and share price of our share and comparing that with certain other companies. My only submission to you is the absolute numbers vary across various companies as pointed out by you. But to your question on what's the best way to evaluate us will always be on our overall growth that we deliver as a company financially and how that would translate into a growth opportunity on the given share price in the marketplace. That in a way probably also answers Mr. Kotwani's question on how will we reward minority shareholders. My belief is while there are tactical tools such as share splits and bonus, etc., which, as I said, I leave to the board's wisdom at the right time. I think the greatest avenue of rewarding minority shareholders is the same as what rewards of promoters or every other institutional shareholder, which is to deliver high performance as a company. If we deliver that, our focus is on that as an operating management team. We are confident that the rewards will be equally shared by all the stakeholders, that is the shareholders and everybody else associated with the company. And that's the most sustained long-term value creation metric that we want to focus on. Last question on the electrical vehicles. Mr. Agarwal, I'm sorry, the voice was not clear, so I'm not sure I captured all your questions, but you did use the word electrical vehicles. I presume you were asking about our interest in that business. Quite frankly, we are not in the vehicles business, whether 2 or 4-wheelers. We have no competence or knowledge of that. But fortunately, as a promoter group, as a Bajaj group, and our sister company, Bajaj Auto, is in that business, as you know, and they're already in the business of electrical 2-wheelers and growing and doing well on that. But I will not comment further on that, but I will leave that to their expertise and specialization to deliver on that and work on that, not for our company really to do that. Sorry, one more question. There was on, price wars and, the e-commerce or alternate channels versus general trade channels. And that's very present in the large white goods and other businesses. And that's also very much prevalent in our business of small appliances, etc. I think, much as there is a lot of heartburn in the marketplace amongst the various channels and constituents of the marketplace on the price wars, and, we fully empathize with that. We believe that, we are a partner to all channels. To us, all channels are equally important and valuable. We do not distinguish between them. We as a company do not favor or disfavor any of these channels. We try to follow as consistent or should I say equitable policy and approach to all of these, including on pricing. Thereafter, if different channels, including certain platforms, have their own financial metric on discounting and other measures or investments, our ability as a brand to influence and control and dictate their investments in building their marketplace is finite. So we believe that our job is to make sure that as a brand, we're dealing with all channels equitably and making sure we're servicing the needs of the consumer and being available across all these platforms, because these are all important channels where the consumer exercises his or her choice to make a purchase. Thereafter, we are too small to try and pick the battles amongst the e-commerce or players and platforms, and therefore that's not something we can unduly influence. We do believe over the next few years this will all mature and we will see certain amount of price stability in the marketplace across the channels as these various channels start to mature and find certain equilibrium on that. Do we have discounts for shareholders? Unfortunately not. Maybe we can look at that in future. As of now, we do not have a system of shareholder discount coupons for our products. I believe with that I've answered all the questions. There was somebody with a question to Mr. Harsh Goenka on Harrison AGM date, but I suggest, I'm sure that's available online or can be, found separately, unless Mr. Goenka wants to quickly answer that. I'll leave that outside of this AGM's, meeting and content. Thank you very much. In case you missed any questions, you may feel free to write to our secretarial team or through LinkedIn time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anuj. I think you've responded to all the questions very well. Now, members who have not yet cast their votes are requested to cast their vote now. The voting facility will remain open for another 15 minutes only. The result of the voting along with scrutinizer's report would be declared and shall be placed on the company's website on the website of linked in time within 2 working days of conclusion of this AGM. The company shall simultaneously forward the results to the National Stock Exchange of India Limited and the Bombay Stock Exchange Limited, where the security of the company are listed. Recorded transcript will also be made available on the company's website as soon as possible. Subject to voting, I declare the proceedings of this meeting is concluded. I thank you for participating at this meeting, and as I close, I pray for yours and your loved one good health and safety. Thank you.